Hey Switchers, how's it going? Kanan here once again with another review, and this time it's for Go Birdie. And before we get there, why not hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all my latest content. And if you want to be joining in a little bit more, then go and join the community Discord, link down below. Come for the chat, stay for the streaming. And I guess it's time to see whether Go Birdie flies high into the sky and hits that height of the Wall of Fame, or whether it gets its wings cut and ends up in the Wall of Shame, or maybe somewhere in the middle. Gameplay. Okay, so if Pac-Man, Bomberman and Angry Birds had like some weird ass love child, this probably would have been the result of that love triangle. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but this would be the result. Okay, so firstly, it's multiplayer, and I did play a little bit of it with my daughter, but she wasn't really up for recording it as we were playing it on the TV, and she didn't want to swap over to the actual laptop. But basically, after picking the bird that you actually want, and then the level that you're going to go onto, and there's quite a few here for the price of the game, you then find out that certain objects can be moved, certain objects can't be moved, and certain objects that can be destroyed. Now, how the actual game basically works is you're kind of like set on a map, a little bit like Bomberman stroke Pac-Man. And it's your job to go around picking up the fruit and whatnot in order to complete the actual level. But it's not as easy as it sounds. There are also these creatures that will be roaming around randomly that can actually destroy you or take one of your lives off you, as you can see on the side. Each fruit nabs you some points, and once you get all the fruits, as I said, you go on to the next level. And basically that is kind of how it plays. There are some like extras like power-ups that turn up here and there, and basically they can do several different things like freezing and turning you invulnerable. You can like kill the actual creatures and a few other little things. As I mentioned before, some objects move, some do not, and the objects that do move you can like open up gaps, or you can like knock them into the actual creatures, which will destroy them. And that's basically it. There is a leaderboard, but I believe it's only a local leaderboard, not online, which is a shame. But for the price, I wasn't really expecting too much out of this. I will say that it's kind of more, I would have said, more for my daughter, who's 6 coming on to 7, and she did actually enjoy the game, and she took it away and she played it for a little bit. She, weirdly enough, didn't like the design of the apples. I don't know why. Now, it's also worth noting that there are different like elements to some of the levels. Like in certain levels you can go through like these, like the wall basically, because it lets you do it. And also there's like extra levels as well, like these special levels like full of ice that you have to go against the actual timer to try and pick up all the actual fruit that's on that level. It's actually quite funny, and yeah, it's okay as a distraction. Now, the game does add a few things as you actually move along in the actual game itself, from the start up until later on in the levels. It never really gets too complicated, but it's enough to leave you scratching your head, or for younger players to enjoy and find it interesting and engaging. Graphically, it's definitely got that old school look to it. Is this pixel art? I'm not 100% sure, but it's okay and it kind of serves its purpose, I suppose. And definitely it's another thing that kind of like makes me think that it's for the younger audience rather than the older audience. But as the developers didn't say that it's specifically for the younger audience, then I can only imagine that it was made for all sorts of audiences. As for the audio, well, yeah, it's okay. Again, it's kind of minimalistic, has some nice little elevator music playing in the background. You can hear the bombs when they explode, and yeah, when you pick things up it makes a sound. It's nothing really engaging. Another reason why I think it was made for the younger people, again, is the fact that it's all kind of, yeah, it just feels like it's made for a younger audience. And I think, again, my daughter did engage with the game a lot more than I did. The good. I think if you bought this for, your youngster, I think they will sit down and play it for a good while and enjoy it. It has 2-player, and yeah, it's a nice little game. The bad. No online leaderboards. It's doesn't feel like it's like made for adults. And as I said before, my daughter definitely enjoyed it more than I did. The score. Well, I think for myself and my own personal view of the game is it was okay. It did nothing really horrible, and it did engage for a little bit of time. I'd definitely give it a 3 out of 5, and I think my daughter would probably give it a little bit more than that, as I think she definitely engaged with it a little bit more than I did. And as for my alternative, well, I'm going to suggest Pac-Man Championship Edition 2+. And yes, I know it doesn't have the same type of, structure to it, but I think Pac-Man is something that transcends age as well. I think everyone would enjoy this as much as I enjoyed it when I was younger, and I enjoy it still these days. And so, what are your thoughts on Go Birdie? Are you going to be picking up, or are you just going to let it fly away? See what I did there? Yes, leave it down in the comments. That's what it's there for. And yeah, hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed any of my content and you want to be kept up to date on it. And also come see us in our community Discord. And yeah, we're great people basically. Why not join? We do have some fun in there. We're like-minded people, and if you're like-minded people too, then come and join up. Link below, because life is better when we switch together.